Do you feel busy? Are you busy? Are you looking for money? That's right. You can be busy and not make any money. Happens all the time. If you're booked out and you're barely paying yourself, paying your bills, paying your people, if you're working harder and not making any money, because that's not the solution. You got to work smarter, and that's probably easier said than done. But we're going to talk about some things today. It's a myth about raising your prices, because price increase means profit on the bottom line, not necessarily more sales. And these three myths I was thinking about. They sound logical, and but it's not. They don't make sense after you think about them. I got this friend, and he's always busy, hardly making any money. And we talk about pricing, and I've heard them all. He's really good, and I love him to death. But golly, I don't need to be rich on one job. Well, no, I don't want you getting rich on one job either. But by golly, you got to make money. Oh, I don't want to make a killing. I just want to make a living. Yeah, think about that one. You're right. I don't want you abusing your pricing. And we're going to talk about it later, because we talk about pricing a lot. But, it's not what you make, it's what you keep. You ever heard that one? It's true. Except what if your lifestyle is more than what you keep? What if the lifestyle you want to live is more than what you keep? Think about working and only making enough to make a living. Google what making a living means. Hell, look at the poverty level. And people said they can't even make it on the minimum wage. And we're not even getting into that subject. But the point being is, you're going to have to raise your prices. People don't raise their prices because of three different myths. First myth: lowering your price will win you more work. Oh, it might win you more work. That's the God honest truth. Work, not profit. If you want to work more, lower your prices. Hell, I love to work. That's all I want to do. Don't make no money, want to work. That don't make no goddamn sense. Sorry, God. Got a little excited there. Don't make no sense at all. When you do that, you're playing race to the bottom with other contractors who think the same damn way. Racing to the bottom means racing to being broke. Who's going to be broke faster? Now, you have to raise your prices. And I've said it before, sales doesn't equal profits. Being busy doesn't equal profits. You can argue about overhead all day long, and I can have that conversation because I love to talk about economics and accounting. But the point being is, you got to make a profit. If you're not making a profit, then you ain't got enough extra time or money to evaluate your overhead. Lower your prices, you'll get the job all right. Don't worry about that part. But you're going to get also lower margins, higher stress. You're going to get bad clients. Because them $some are only looking for the cheap price. You don't need that. Cheap clients bring expensive problems and outcomes. You're going to be rushed. Why you rush? Because you ain't got much built in your labor. And what happens? You make a mistake. Then you make a mistake you can't afford. That's what happens. You got no room to breathe. You got no contingency plan. I like to think that when I estimate, I got everything right. But somewhere deep down, I'm going to forget something. Have a plan for that. What are you going to do? It's a vicious circle when you start lowering your prices and those problems arise, and maybe you can afford the first or second one. But when they start coming repeatedly, you just can't do it. You want better clients at the end of the day, and you want to raise your prices. And that might sound counterintuitive, but it's a God honest truth. Myth number 2. If I raise my prices, I'll run off my good client. No, those good clients understand. They understand that they're going to pay for some people that they want, something they need. They believe that you're the right person to do it. You got to sell that to them, though, and prove it. If they're scared by your pricing, they don't respect you. They don't respect your quality or your process, whatever it is. I love it Oh, I love it when somebody tells me how to do my job. And that client's out there telling me, well, I do it this way. By God, do it. You're paying me. I tell them that this is how I'm going to do it because I'm the one who's going to warranty it. It's going to be done my way. And that's not to say that somebody's proven me wrong. And I encourage that because I'm not the smartest and sharpest tool in the shed sometimes. But you got to be open. But when you make a decision, you got to stand behind that decision because everybody's got to move forward. Got a buddy. He don't advertise. Doesn't have to. People call him. And he's a little older than I am, not much. But when people call him, he says, I'm not cheap, but it'll be done right. The people call him says, I know it. I'm okay with that. I want it done right. They're willing to pay. He tells them up front, you're going to pay more. Can you find somebody cheaper? Absolutely. You going to find something better? Hell no. I'm going to do it right the first time and be more efficient. That's how you do it. The right clients leave you if you're dropping your prices. But if you raise your prices, right clients will stay and the bad clients will leave. Those looking for the dollar and not quality, the process, structure, those things that you have proven to your community, to your brand. That's what you stand for. So you can raise those prices and increase your profits. Matter of fact, be like my buddy, and I'm not going to mention his name, but be like him and tell him you're going to be higher. Now, this ties into myth number 3. And it's important because I talk a lot about pricing. Should you aim to be the most expensive? No. That's not what I'm saying. You want to aim to be the best value. That's what I mean. Are they going to get a good product? Absolutely. Are they going to pay for it? Absolutely. Is it going to be done quicker than normal? Probably. It's going to be done right? No question about it. If it ain't done right, we'll come back and fix it. There's policies you can put in place to justify your expense. Ask questions and tell them how your process works, because I guarantee you other people out there aren't. The right people pay for expectations. Sink that in a little bit. People know, and I built horse barns and horse stables. Different levels, different quality, not quality, different amenities, put it that way. I got people who pay for very fine horse stables. I got people who love horses, and if you love horses, you understand they get better money than some stuff you live in. We get the check. But that being said, and my point being is I love horse stables, but you're going to get a good price and you're going to get a good horse stable and you get somebody who knows something about horses, because that's what I grew up with. And people pay a premium for that knowledge. I have Amish crews who know how to build houses quite effectively and being led, because they get in big groups of literally hundreds of people to build a house or a barn. They got to have a leader. And I think that's part of the reason my guys work so well, because there's a leader and everybody knows their job. But people are going to pay for that. My hour rates or my pay, I pay them more than probably most people pay their workers. And that's okay, because they get it done a whole lot faster. Do the math. I pay more for less days. People pay less for more days. If I squeeze more sales in a month, you're going to make more money, hands down. And if I can charge you more for that quickness and that quality, booyah. Drop the mic if I didn't have a holder here. That's right. So just because I'm talking about raising your prices, I don't want you necessarily being the highest. You can be the highest once you come the best value for the money. All right. Let's do a quick recap. So lowering your prices will win you more work. And they absolutely will. More work, not more profit. Raising your prices will not scare away good clients. You shouldn't aim to be the most expensive unless you're providing the most value. And when you can do this stuff, you become more profitable, more stable, more reliable, more predictable. Amazing what you can do when you predict your sales, predict where you're going next. Less stressful. Think about the stress you're in now. And I used to be that stressed. Matter of fact, that's how I got sick. But that being said, less stress is wonderful. Because 9 times out of 10, when you go to the doctor and you're feeling bad, they go ask, how's your stress level? That's one of the main diagnoses. Then they give you medicine, but that's a whole different story. Pricing isn't the only way of being cheap or expensive. It's providing that best value. Now, if you're wondering if you're providing value and want to give that to your people, your clients, contact me below. We can talk about value. We can talk about what you're doing, how you improve, and how to make that more money. Show note below, click it, make an appointment with me. Be happy to talk about all that good stuff. And obviously, and as always, please join our Facebook group. You'll meet with other guys like yourself who are here together to talk about how we can become that CEO and get out of that hard hat. This is Chris G, Hard Hat CEO. God be with you till we meet again. Bye-bye.